told you, you are trapped in a prison, and I'm offering you the key.
What is up, guys? My name is BobaTalks, and welcome to my Gotham trailer breakdown. Now, this is for the sneak peek, See Your Own Darkness, which is basically, I believe it says Season 4, Episode 12. It might show a couple of, clips from future episodes. But either way, I'm sorry that this trailer is late. I will be bringing out a video explaining why videos are a bit slow on my channel at the minute. It basically is to do with, really bad repetitive strain injury in my hands. So if my videos seem a little bit different, for example in this one, not as much editing, a few more ums and ahs, that is why, because I'm just going to completely step back from editing and just make it a bit more raw. But enough about that. Obviously, what you guys want to know is my thoughts about this trailer. And I'm only going to talk about the specific parts that were kind of new-ish, because this was a rehash of the trailer we got just after Gotham went on its break over Christmas. And even though it's coming back March 1st, this trailer showed a lot of the same stuff we've already seen before, but obviously a few new things. So what I'm going to do is play the trailer from the midway mark, because we don't need to see the few minutes of the recap over Season 3 and Season 4, and then I'll get into the breakdown. But before I get into this breakdown, guys, if you do go on to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate your support by just hitting that like button. And if you're new to this channel and you enjoy this video, why not hit that subscribe button, because there will be more videos just like this. But let's go ahead and check this new trailer out for those of you who might not have seen it already.
And how can you help me?
What do you say, pal? I'll be your best friend.
Now, a look at what's coming on Gotham.
I think I saw who I really am.
I've seen my own darkness. You have people around you who care for you. Don't fight this alone. Trust us.
Careful, Jim. Sometimes we go looking for things we don't want to find.
And if I go down, so will you.
You still think you know what I will and won't do?
I'll be coming for you, bitch!
I need help.
That's really why you came to me.
Sorry.
Sometimes that's enough.
You really are nuts. The best cure is the laughing cure. Make me laugh. I will not!
I want an APB on Ivy Pepper. Finding her is our top priority.
First, I was a seed. Then a sprout. Now I've bloomed.
That is so Gotham.
You have no idea what's really going on at your company, do you? Billionaire boy.
Ivy?
I'm going to make miracles happen.
Who's there? Show yourself!
I am the one you cannot escape. The one you cannot kill.
You.
Let's make Gotham our bitch.
Now we're talking!
Gotham returns Thursday, March 1st on Fox.
Thank you for waiting!
I need to find the creme de la crazy.
Which is why I need you. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun together.
Now, even though I said I play it from the mid mark, where we don't see the recap of Season 3 and Season 4, well, parts of Season 3, there was actually a part which I included, which was at the very, very beginning of the trailer, before the recap, where we see Jerome and Penguin, and actually something they didn't show in the second part of the trailer, only related scenes, but we actually see Penguin dressed up in a clown costume, and we see Jerome say something along the lines that,
I told you, you are trapped in a prison, and I'm offering you the key.
Now, obviously, I love the clown reference there. It's very, all what Joker would do in the future and stuff like that. So it's very appropriate. constant teasing, even with the Jerome Joker card. Why did I say Jerome? Because that is Joker. But basically, I think what's going on here is just simply Penguin is, is basically wrapped up in his own way of doing things, and Jerome thinks the key or the way to unlocking Penguin's true potential, which we have already kind of speculated on already, is just simply through going crazy, more or less letting out your inner madness, your inner anarchy, everything that Jerome is about, we're fully aware is just complete and utter madness, and that is just what that first little scene is about, and I really like that, and I really like how they just dressed Penguin up in that little clown outfit, with the massive bow tie and the little buttons. That was brilliant. And, we can see parts of that later on in this trailer with Penguin just simply kind of giving in to what Jerome wants him to give into, like his just raw madness, I guess you would say, or just losing control so you can become unpredictable and just as crazy as Jerome, I guess. And that's shown through stuff we've seen before in other trailers, like where they're just beating the crap out of each other and stuff like that. But anyway, the first part of this trailer, which I didn't show, was just the season so far, which is, just watching that bit again, it really has been awesome. Season 4 honestly is the best season so far for me. Obviously, if it completely drops in the second half of the season, then fair enough, it might not be as good as one of the other seasons, but I can't really imagine that happening. Gotham's a show that started off at a certain point, but it's got better and better and better and better and better to the point where it's a really solid show now. But it really, just watching it again was brilliant. We even saw some moments from season 3, for example, where Grundy got shot in the head, or should I say Butch, and then he became Grundy. Just stuff like that. It was cool, but it added the trailer quite a length to the trailer. I think it's around, 5 minutes 15 long. So let's cut to the juicy part. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm going to only be talking about the stuff I haven't been over already. So if you want to see everything going into detail about every other scene, I have talked about it in one of my previous trailer breakdowns. I will link that in the description below if you want to see everything else. But what I want to talk about is where we see Bruce, or should I say a future Batman-y version of Bruce, jumping down on, basically consuming Bruce in that kind of vision we see him in, which, is speculated to be from Poison Ivy, which I think could be the case. When Ivy goes to visit Bruce, which we've seen in both of these trailers, so this one and the previous one, I think that she might induce a kind of typical Poison Ivy kind of weird kind of vision, but it will basically show him the Batcave, which we've seen in this trailer. He's gonna have really weird, trippy moments like this. We've already seen a tease of Batman in the previous trailer, but this time we see a very typical Dark Knight styled moment where he's on top of like this staircase or these hangers on the side of an apartment complex, and he jumps down, and Bruce is just scared the crap out of. Now this I want to relate to Discussing Films interview. Some of you may already know about this, but this I'm sure some of you do, because Discussing Films had an interview with David Mazouz, where not only did he say that Jerome Valeska, the character, or should I say the persona that is Jerome Valeska, isn't the Joker. He went on to say other things which I said I could make plenty of videos about, and this is kind of the perfect time to bring it up, because he also said and went on to discuss with Discussing Films that the Fear of Bats like moment will be coming around this season, or some point this season. And I think this is it, because they went on to discuss other parts, saying how they weren't even barely allowed to use bats in the earlier seasons, and when is Bruce's very typical, this is one of the biggest questions as well in the whole of Gotham that fans ask, when is his Fear of Bats gonna come? And I think they've been holding off on that, and they won't do it in a very traditional way. I don't know, like a bat coming in a window, or in a Dark Knight series where he falls down the well. I think that this will be the closest thing we get to it in a while, where in this kind of trip or vision, should I say, that Bruce is in, where he sees the cave or this figure, which we all know is him in the future. He's gonna get the fear of bats, because obviously the bats will be surrounding this future Batman, and it will consume him, and he'll be kind of scared of it, and then this will blossom into the idea of one day when he's, going out as a vigilante, it's like, oh, wait, I got scared that one time, blah, 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 I'm going to embrace that symbol of the bats, and then I guess it will dawn upon him that in that vision, that person he saw was himself. So I kind of like that. Gotham are doing it a bit different. Nothing wrong with that. And I think it's pretty cool. But let me know what you think of that in the comment section down below. And just to let you guys know, when Bruce says to Jim, I think I saw who I really am, and just stuff like that, and Jim is talking to him saying, you know, you don't have to go through this alone and stuff. I think stuff like that is just cleverly cut together. I don't think it is directly linked to this Bruce vision of Batman stuff. I think it truly is just Jim talking to Bruce. Maybe Alfred contacted him after getting fired, because we know Bruce is in this teenage angst now, and he's going down this downward spiral. And I've seen an interview with John Stevens, and I might do a separate video on this, but I do really feel like what they're doing is relevant. They wanted to explore this route because obviously what we all know is that Bruce Wayne puts on this billionaire playboy persona one day, but we know it's an act. But how does he put it on so well? Because he had to have been there before, genuinely. Like, what was the origin of that? And that is simply that Bruce went through that, quite literally, was a little brat at this point in time. So one day he can use this as a tool to, you know, distract the people of Gotham and all kinds of people, and, you know, his enemies and all sorts, from him being Batman, because he's just some douchebag billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne. So I like what they're doing with that, and I truly believe that this Jim moment coming to the Wayne Manor is simply just that, him just talking to him about, you know, you don't have to go through this alone, we can help you, blah 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 blah. He's not talking to Bruce, you know, about the vision or anything like that. Now, in between the moment I just discussed and this next moment I want to discuss, there is a lot of stuff which I've already covered in my other trailer breakdown, so be sure to check that video out. But let's move on to the next part, which is the Bat and the Cat. And I really feel like their relationship here is that of the Bat and the Cat in the future of what we see. I love it. I love what they're showing here with Bruce and Selina. You can clearly see that Bruce is still a bit depressed, still going through some stuff. There's obviously quite a bit of stuff that happened between Bruce and Selina at the end of Season 3. And even though they're kind of alright now in Season 4, there's this moment where Selina comes to Bruce saying, I need your help. But the main thing I want to focus on is that moment where, I don't know, it's obviously got something to do with Selina needing Bruce's help, but they're in that room with a load of pictures hanging around, and they both get attacked, and they're both just battling side by side, and it was perfect. And that ending bit where Selina is walking away from Bruce, and she just teases, you know, strokes the side of his face in a very Catwoman kind of way and walks away. She's very appreciative, but she doesn't want to obviously completely, you know, this is Selina in a nutshell. She holds a lot of stuff in and doesn't always show her true stuff, whether that's through her trying to keep it locked away and stuff. But I can go on a whole bunch about that. If you guys know Selina, you know Selina, you know what I'm on about. They're really portraying that here, and you can see Bruce's little smile there. That is just so foreshadowing of the future. I can really see these two in their costumes doing the exact same thing there. But it's also similar to stuff we've seen even in the Batman Telltale series, if you know what I mean by when Bruce and Selina were fighting in that bar fight. It just reminded me of this scene here. But another thing is just seeing these two a lot older than what they were obviously in Season 1. Bruce looks a lot older here, and I really, really like that. I think, just like what I've said before, when Bruce looks older, when they give David Mazouz a haircut, he really does look like a proper, almost, you know, 18-year-old Bruce Wayne that I can imagine literally like they're showing a story from the comics. However, David Mazouz, I believe, is only 16 at the minute. But what I mean is, wow, I really like this scene, and I can't wait to see more from Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne in Gotham Season 4. Now we're going back to Jerome saying, like, the best cure is the laughing cure, and he says, make me laugh, and, you know, Oswald's like, I will not. And it's just kind of, I think this is before they start to humiliate Oswald and put him in the clown stuff, and we see them two fighting, and then you see Oswald start to laugh a bit, and then just in reference to other clips where Jerome says, oh, we're gonna have so much fun together, and then they start laughing crazily, if that's even the word. It's just all a part of what I said earlier. Jerome is unlocking this side of Penguin. Now, I think Penguin at first just thinks would be absurd, and why would he team up with a person he's referenced in the past? I can't remember the exact words, but he thinks Jerome is quite a bit of a nut job. But I think now Penguin is going to be a lot more dangerous through what he learns through this proto-Joker. Even though I still think Cameron Monaghan's still going to be the Joker before anyone types in the comment section. Jerome Valeska Jerome Valeska isn't going to be the Joker here. Whether that's him being reborn and then he is the Joker, or whether that is a clone and Jerome Valeska wasn't the Joker, or whether if Jerome Valeska is just an alias and he isn't the real Jerome Valeska. But that's another video. Why am I talking about this? Now, let's talk about Ivy Pepper. Jim Gordon says, I want an APB on Ivy Pepper. And then we see freaking Ivy Pepper cocoon confirmed. Now, I said in my past couple of Ivy videos that I think it will be cocoon-like or something like that. This whole time, where has she been? Well, I think after taking a shite load of potions, she would have been just, you know, especially with her being this new Ivy-like character with possible metahuman powers, which has been confirmed now. She's been in this cocoon-like state, and I think it's awesome. I really like it. I know a lot of people are touchy about this Ivy thing. I'll link another video in the description down below if you want to know my true thoughts about it, and I explain why they've recast her 3 times, and I talk about what it's basically. I think I called it the Ivy Pepper paradox, or the Poison Ivy paradox in Gotham, because obviously there's been a lot of stuff about that. But anyway, and what I think's interesting to note as well is I wasn't sure if she was still in that potion shop, but I think she is. And I think that poor bloke who said don't take the potions has been used for lack of a better word, nutrients to I don't know, give Ivy this growth spurt, her second growth spurt. And yeah, poor bloke. But anyway, she walks out. It makes a lot of sense. She's still, you know, in torn clothes of reminiscent of what she was wearing before. But then we see that Ivy has these powers, and we see Selina as if she's looking at her. I don't know if it's cut that way, but it probably is real in this case, because she cut this bloke, and this guy starts choking from the inside out with plants growing inside him, and that is brilliant. I love this. This is fantastic. I know a lot of people wanted a different track version of Ivy to go throughout Gotham, but I think this is okay as long as they don't do any more than this. This is an Ivy who does have powers, who wants to make Gotham her own green paradise, and from what I see in this trailer, it is we've got a good time ahead of us, and it looks very exciting. But there's also some other interesting things that Ivy Pepper says to Bruce, which we did see a scene just like this from a previous trailer, but we heard a little bit more about what she actually says. All we heard before was like billionaire boy, but now she says you have no idea what's going on at your company. Now, I think the reason why Ivy might know what's going on at Bruce's company is because we see another shot of Lucius Fox with Ivy, and he looks kind of happy. I know it's blurred, but I think that the reason is because he is under Ivy's spell. Now, we know Lucius Fox, I don't think he's a part of Wayne Enterprises anymore. That's kind of long gone history. However, I think that she's still using him for something for her own personal gain. We know Lucius is a badass in R&D and all kinds of stuff, so I'm sure he's capable of not only just tech, but we see Ivy here with this green, like, I don't know, bottle or potion-y kind of thing. Now, I think this is just a theory that Ivy is going to Lucius because she wants some kind of way of, I don't know, growing her ivy or plants or turning Gotham into her own green paradise, which the showrunners have already said is her motive, which is just her character's motive in general anyway. And I'm thinking it could be like a similar kind of plan or something she wants to use Lucius for. It's in a similar way to what Scarecrow did in The Dark Knight, the League of Shadows in The Dark Knight, where they put it in the water and it goes throughout the whole city. Maybe she needs Lucius for a way to figure out something similar to that, which can just get the whole city going, if you know what I mean. But as for the rest of it, we're just going to have to wait and see. I might come out with a couple of theory videos in terms of what's going on at, you know, Bruce's company. As I said, I think it might just be what I just said, but there's probably a lot more to it. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But then we get on to the next part of Bruce's vision, where he sees another more... As I said, the first part of what we saw when Bruce is consumed by bats, and that might be the way he gets his bat fear, or should I say the Batman, or an early version of Batman. I feel like this next person we see in the Batcave is meant to be the Batman. But really, I've looked at it much more close up. I think all they're putting over the guy's face is just this mask or this fabric, but obviously the contrast is really high or low, wherever way you want to look at it. So it looks like it's just a black face, but it's really just something over some guy's face. They obviously didn't build a proper Batman costume, but this moment's really cool because Bruce is like, show yourself, who are you? And this next bit I absolutely freaking love, mainly because of the editor who did this trailer. I don't know if this was done on purpose, but it must have been, I would like to think. Now, I'm sure if it is Bart who edited this trailer, he'll get back to me on this. But if not, I think it's very poetic anyway. We hear Batman basically saying his Batman voice, I am the one you cannot escape. I am the one you cannot kill. And that is obviously just saying that is, you know, Bruce's true side. You know, he can't escape his true identity. Bruce Wayne is the mask. He can't kill that part of himself. But obviously this is a bit confusing to Bruce because he hasn't, you know, he hasn't got there yet in terms of the Batman, you know, the symbol and everything like that. But the thing I love about those lines, and then other scenes come in, when the Batman in the Batcave in this vision says, I'm the one you can't escape, we see the Riddler, we see Penguin, and to me, what I see when I see that is just villains of Batman that, you know, he can't escape those villains. Whether he puts them in Arkham or blah, 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 they'll keep coming back. Penguin always keeps coming back. The Riddler will keep coming back. There's loads of adventures where those villains keep going back and forth. And then when Batman says in this trailer, I am the one you cannot kill, we see Jerome Valeska, aka the Joker, and that was just very poetic to that because he can't, even though the Joker is obviously Batman's biggest enemy, he always, I mean, unless you count a couple of stories, that can't kill him. He always apprehends him. As much as this villain drives the Batman insane the most, is the biggest pain in his ass, what do we know? He doesn't kill him, even though he wants to so desperately. And in this trailer, as I said, I'm pretty sure it's deliberate. I hope it is. But even if not, it was timed perfectly. And I love that. I love that part of this trailer. And then, of course, we see the future Batman just burst into a load of bats. And that might be the more definitive part of the vision that gives Bruce this fear of bats, which one day he'll, you know, the penny will drop and he'll use that as a symbol. Then he will realize that was himself he probably saw in the future in this weird trip that probably Ivy gave him. And the last thing I want to talk about is that in the rush of clips at the end, I don't think there's too much to talk about with the other clips, but we see Ra's al Ghul, or as David Mizzou says, Ra's al Ghul, coming towards Barbara, and Barbara looking horrified. Now I think this moment isn't necessarily a real moment with the very Ra's al Ghul walking towards Barbara in this club-like scene. I'm not sure. But I think the important thing is to remember that there was this kind of transference of something that Ra's did when he was locked up to Barbara, and she was like, what was that? And he was like, you will see. And then we see this moment where Barbara's looking so, you know, so tortured or like horrified and like she's seen a ghost. And those are the key words. I think this isn't Ra's in the flesh, but I think this is the beginnings of his coming back in the second half of season 4. And it could be real. It could very well be real. But I think she's just seeing like a ghost. And whether, how, and why he comes back, this is the beginnings of it. And this is her first, you know, in contact with Ra's before he comes actually back in the flesh. But that is all I've got to say about this trailer, guys. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I know it was a bit long, and I know it wasn't as edited as normal, but either way, it was just a massive blabber of information and my thoughts on it. If you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate it if you got this far, if you hit the like button, and if you've still got this far and you're a new viewer to this channel, why not hit that subscribe button, because you will see more videos just like this in the future. So come and join the Boba community and let's have a bit of fun together. Other than that, you can follow me on social media. The links will be popping up on screen around here, or you can click on one of them in the links below, since you can't click on the ones on the screen. I have Patreon as well, guys. If you want to support this channel a little bit further, why not head into the description and check out those tiers. Some of them you might like, some of you might not like. I'm looking into getting some merch soon. I'm looking into doing stuff like that. Some of you have sent in some amazing artwork. But either way, guys, Gotham comes out. I'll shut up now. Gotham comes out Thursday, March 1st. Let's get some hype. It's looking very exciting. I think the back half of this season is going to be explosive. And when I say explosive, they've got a shite load teamed up. Like, the stuff they showed in this trailer wasn't nearly enough of what they've actually got planned. We've got the Gotham villains team up with Jerome, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, everyone like that. We didn't see any of that in this trailer. So look out for a white band trailer or a red band trailer. That's got to be coming as well. I'm pretty sure it will be. But anyway, guys, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.